Hello, everyone. So we're gonna take a break from. I'm in the middle of a painting series on just some intuitive painting using kind of blues and greens, creates kind of a water tree thing, and I'm gonna actually look at where I get my inspiration for some of my videos. So this is a tree that is already starting to change color. I live in Southwest Minnesota, and so this is kind of just a example of the middle of nowhere, uh, where I live, and it's already changing color. And so I just wanted to capture. I thought this would be a great sketch. So I just wanted to capture kind of how the tree on the right side of the tree. Um, this happens to be the east side. I don't actually know enough about trees to know how they change color, but this side of the tree is changing to red, and this side is still very green. And in the background, most of the trees in this area have not changed yet. And so I just wanted to quick sketch this to capture this moment. Also, I live in Southwest Minnesota. The trees normally just go green to brown. They do not change. So I am going to kind of have my phone off to the side to capture this moment. And I'm going to write this. So I captured this. Let me double check when I captured this. So I captured this on um, the 7th of September of 2025. And that is the day that I took that picture. And so I'm just going to go with the trees. So I've got this is going to be annoying because I refuse to change my settings on my phone. So got some branches that are kind of going off to the side, and I'm taking creative license here. I'm not doing exactly what the tree looks like. So there we go. Some branches. Um, the idea is that this is something I call a sketchbook, and so I essentially want to be able to capture um, uh, my impressions of a moment, you know, as quickly as possible. And so, in the example, I very much was out for a walk, and so, not a, I could have sketched it while I was walking, but I didn't have my sketchbook with me, and so I just am, uh, so I just took a picture of it. And sometimes I do actually have my sketchbook on me, and I can quick sketch cute little pictures of various things that I see. And at this point, I am not at all close to what the tree actually looks like, but just giving that vibe of a tree, getting the branches started, and we can worry about the leaves later. Those are color, those are kind of a flare. They they can always be added later, but the idea is to just get this tree sketched out. Very much love trees. If you've seen any of my other art on this channel, it definitely, I tend to focus on trees. They are, channeling my inner Bob Ross, right? Happy little trees. They definitely make me happy. If you know anything about me, I'm definitely a outdoorsy person. Now, just to add, um, you know, some story to this. It's in a park. The grass is 100% manicured, but I like the idea of a tree that's in nature rather than in a city park. So next is my color. So that took me all of 3 minutes to sketch. I can usually sketch a little bit faster if I'm in a hurry. Um, so next is, oh darn, I keep forgetting to grab water when I do this. So next is making sure you have water to paint. So there are two ways that I do the sketches. I either use, um, so I use colored pencils sometimes. So for example, I was out on at my friend's cabin for the weekend, and I didn't bring my little palette. Also, a little tougher to maintain once these are wet. So I just had the main colors that I use and then a brush. And then I would add those in. I can show you kind of what that looks like. Let's see here. So yeah, just sketching it in, adding color, and then adding water to it later. So that's kind of where I would go with pencils, but I have time, I'm comfortable, I'm sitting, comfortably in my office. I can absolutely go with the brush strokes here. So first, now I am absolutely new to watercolor. If you've seen any of my videos so far, you can definitely see I'm definitely a acrylic painter. But I am going to start with um, my tree. So I just want to get some of this, um, nothing too crazy, but I just want that trunk to get um, added in there. And, some of these branches are going to be a little darker than others. Um, and again, this is not going to look anything like the picture. It's the idea of the impression of the picture, that capturing the red and the greens and the changing of the seasons. Um, and this is, uh, on that note, I'm definitely more of an impressionist painter. I just like the idea of the the painting, not necessarily the exactness. I mean, with a camera in my pocket, I don't really need to have exact paintings because I can always take a picture and I would have that exact replica. So the paintings are definitely more that impression of what was I capturing in the moment. And the tree bark on this particular photo was most definitely not brown. It was like a light gray, but I like the brown trees. Um, so that's my tree branches are kind of set up. I'm not going to do any background colors. Um, Sometimes I do. Let's see if I have anything. I got to be careful of what I share because, sometimes there's personal moments on here. So here's just a couple of examples of, having the sky and everything filled in. I'm not going to go with that today. I'm going to just stick to the colors. Now, I know that this half was all green, so I can pretty safely put the green on there. I'm going to start with a lighter green. This is more of a teal color, and if you've seen my videos, you know I'm all for the teal, but this is definitely a green. Just getting some of that grass put in here. Got way too much water on my brush, so we're gonna have lots more grass off to the side, just because I've got grass, I've got trees, I've got water on my brush, so lots of leaves. So now, this method that I'm using, it's just essentially adding um, little blobs of water to mimic what like full trees look like. It's not meant to be exact. Um, Nothing, like I said, it's an impressionistic type of style of painting. So it's also watercolor really bleeds. So if I start adding this green too close to that brown, it all just, the whole painting just kind of turns brown. And that's definitely not what I want in this particular painting. So just capturing the idea of the leaves changing in the fall. That's all I'm trying to do with this. And looking at it now, I kind of wish I would have drew a few leaves on here, but the idea with sketching, travel, not necessarily travel sketching, but just the sketching on the fly is that I don't have time to do all the details, and so that's part of this style of painting. So for just to check to see how I'm doing on my painting, uh, make sure I don't get the ring light in there. So yeah, I've got the half is pretty well green, and now I just got to get, it looks like the top is going to be more oranges, and then kind of the middle is going to be more yellows, and then there's just a few greens in there. So that is what I was checking to make sure I didn't have any more greens to do, and I do. There's just a few greens kind of in here, and get just adding random greens as part of this tree. Um, Way more leaves than I was thinking I would have. It's okay. The idea with my art is that it is never perfect. It's always a practice. I do this for fun. I'm not doing this to sell it. I'm doing it simply because I enjoy this process. Uh, Similarly, I guess I should make a note of why I make videos. Also, same process. I just enjoy the process of cutting the videos and that process. Now, I don't know if the yellow is going to be too light. I might have to mix in some of the green to get that to show up. But yeah, it definitely looks like a leafy tree that's changing colors in the fall. And this is right where we can get those colors to blend a little. That's perfect. Even though I just said I don't do perfect. All right, next is the orange. I'm so excited for the orange. Did I say orange or did I say red? I can't remember. I'll just add some orange up here and then see. I'll double check with my photo. So first getting some of those orange leaves on there, but then getting them to blend with the yellows. And then blending with the yellow green. Check. Because I thought I saw red, but it might just be orange. Yep, just orange. Well, but a little red never hurt anybody. So maybe I'll add red later. And these are much darker, so I kind of like that they're darker. And then getting pretty far away from the branches. It is a very full tree, so now I just need to kind of step back and see if that is balanced. The tree itself is not very balanced. The right side is quite a bit fuller than the left side, so I am gonna fill in a little bit more of that green, just because I want the tree itself to look a little balanced. And this is part of the reason that when I do travel and I sketch various things, um, I very much mix some of this green and blue or green and orange, just because those leaves are together on the tree. There we go. Got a little dab of green up here to kind of fill out that shape of the tree. And if I knew more about watercolors, I would totally be adding darker colors. But forget what I was saying before. But yeah, looks very much. I can add a little bit darker grass. Now, I don't know enough about watercolor to know um, how to add it in, but that looks very similar to my picture. So not exact, it's just an impression. So very much get that other stuff off there. So just an idea of something that I saw that was really cool, and I captured it, and now it's here for all time in the form of this little painting. And according to my time, it took me 15 minutes. So the initial sketch took about 3 minutes. Usually I do not take that long in my sketches. And of the painting itself, if I had used the colored pencils, maybe it would have added another 3 minutes. So I could have had this done in roughly about 5 minutes if I wasn't talking through this process. And then when I add the watercolor, if I remember to bring my water into my studio, um, it that adds, you know, I would say that using the brush, it adds about 10 more minutes. So yeah, this is pretty standard way that I can sketch on the fly and add some travel, not necessarily travel, but just capturing those moments on paper. Um, and that's all I've got for you. Now, this is just this is going to be a freestanding video, but it's in the midst of my water tree series that I was doing, and part of that is, seeing where that inspiration comes from in those paintings, and just capturing the moment as you see it, and then using those techniques for other paintings as they come up, as the opportunity presents itself. All right, have a great rest of your day.